this is Carl Morris. I'm back with the second half. I'll start off with or parole, the indictment information or affidavit made before the magistrate must substantially charge the magistrate must substantially charge the person demanded with having committed a crime under the laws of that state, Michigan. And the copy of indictment information, affidavit, judgment of conviction or sentence must be authenticated by the executive authority making the demand. See extraditional proceedings in the search and seizure book number 1. I'm turning the page. However, the department do not have none of these documents, but they have me, Carl Morris. I have filed in all the Michigan state courts and Michigan Supreme Court. All of them issued denials in my case. I also filed in all of the federal courts, including the United States Supreme Court, all the federal courts, including the United States, they made denials. The above is known as the legal group support. I wrote the following people. Keith Barber, Michigan Legislative Ombudsman. Mr. Barber alleged he had no jurisdiction to take any action. I wrote Governor Gratcher Witter, also Governor of Michigan, failed to answer. Attorney General Dominic Nelson, she alleged she was unable to assist me. The U.S. Department of Justice Civil Rights Division in Washington, D.C. took no action. The FBI in Marquette, Michigan, I requested for an investigation to issue arrest warrants. The FBI never answered. Attorney General Laura Lynch, she failed to answer. I learned about a year and a half ago from Timothy J. McBride, one of my PCs, showed me a letter from Jackson County prosecutor who I never met. His name, Mr. Bride said, was Joseph S. Phillips. I would say Phillips, F-I-L-I-P. In that letter addressed to Miss Vicky J. Loss, a prison supervisor of records, and related to her, with respect to the above inmate, Carl Pruitt, the prison escape should be handled administratively and liable of criminal prosecution. Respectfully, Joseph S. Phillips. In reality, he was telling Vicky Law that they could not afford to take me, Carl Morris, before any court. So, why would prosecutor Phillips tell Miss Vicky Law, a supervisor of records, anything? That would be for the Jackson County Circuit Court judge. Had the two men took me to the Jackson County facility instead of Jackson Prison when they first brought me here on June 3rd, 1988, that would have happened. The fact that I was treated as if I was some slave that had no rights, and these people are my enemies as well as the enemies of all of people of color. No matter what they do to you, they accept no accountability. For the criminal acts they do to people of color, it appears that they have no feelings when it comes to them dealing with people of color. People of color have had enough pain. We really do not deserve. It's past time for the victim to become separated from the perpetrator, the guilty from the innocent. There is no more time for people of color accepting the wrong of those racial leaders who must become accountable for their conduct. Accountability is not only for people of color, but for everyone, regardless of your race or social position. Accountability is for all people. Also, my identification can be verified by the Secret Service in Washington, D.C. My name was changed according to my fingerprints. The Secret Service has a file on me because I threatened the lives of a president, his wife, and daughter. That is why my name is on my ID card as legal name Carl Morris. I am wrongfully incarcerated and have been for almost 37 years of my life because I am a man of color, which I make no apology. I am asking all criminal attorneys to reach out to me as I need your assistance. Every criminal attorney who have knowledge of existing to know that it takes a governor warrant from the demanding state turning over. To be sent to the allied state, Tennessee, to even get extradition proceedings started. Uniform Criminal Extradition Act of 1939. The demand in the governor's warrant would have been for Michigan Governor James J. Blanchard. Such demand must be accompanied by a copy of Governor Blanchard and Michigan Governor in 1988. 4 questions as a writ of habeas corpus can do no more than decide A, whether the extradition documents on their face are in order. B, whether the petition has been charged with a crime in the demanding state. C, whether the petitioner is the person named in the request for extradition. And D, whether the petitioner is a fugitive. These are the 4 questions a circuit court judge first asks any prosecutor. The above 4 questions in any extradition proceedings must be answered before the proceeding can continue. The abuse
Hello?
You have 1 minute remaining.
There were no crime and no punishment. However, when the prosecutor and other legal officials is using the law for their own purpose, personal gain, if none of the above occurred, how is it possible that I have been incarcerated in the Michigan penal system for almost 37 years? I wonder why. When these 2 men first brought me to Jackson, Michigan, they took me straight to the Jackson prison and without any authority or any consent turned me over to their control because I am a man of color who has only a small amount of so-called freedom. A slave that's still in the thoughts of people of color from European leaders. Slave, a human being who is owned as property by and absolutely subject to the will of another bondservant, deprived of all freedom and personal rights. Sure, the above description describes my situation. As crime has ruled my situation, as my situation composed of crime, as one thought in their minds is consistent, they are people of color and no one care what we do to them. That is where you are so wrong. That is the extreme result of racial hatred. There is no other reason these officials could have invested such a lie to see if they could go free of punishment to continue their active thought of applying this sick thought to other people of color. Not if I can prevent it. The fact of the matter is that all the people who did participate in the crime against me, kidnapped, arranged for my kidnapping to take place, who arranged for all of my rights to be taken from me because of their racial hatred by not allowing me to have access to the court or access to justice. And all of Joseph S. Phillips, prosecuting attorney for Jackson County, who prevented me from having any contact with the courts. So a hearing would not be conducted which would have revealed the truth. Joseph S. Flack, Jackson County prosecutor, failed to consider and honor MRPC 3.8.